Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you've all had a very Merry Christmas. Welcome to coverage of today's Vanarama National League South clash between Chippenham Town and Bath City. I'm Mark Stillman, commentating throughout. Jerry Gill's rejuvenated Romans are in search for a fourth successive win in two senses against today's opponents and in matches in all competitions. They can expect a fight for both in this Boxing Day clash as Mike Cook's Chippenham bid for their first victory here in the A4 Derby in 15 years, and he has one or two former City men to call upon to try and end that barren spell. I'm also delighted to be joined in the last minute by a former Bath City man and current Chippenham player who's sadly unavailable this afternoon. Welcome to George Rigg, who's going to be summarising today. So, George, you scored on this day a year ago. Because Bath City fans are listening in, make this as brief as possible.
Yeah, it was a special day for me. Obviously, I scored at Twerton Park, so I've got some nice memories.
It's a nice finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of my best goals actually. I mean, it did hit the top corner quite nicely. So yeah, it was a bit of a different Boxing Day for me today, though.
Did you give Clarkey a bit of stick for it?
Yeah, I did. I've said hello to him. I think I just left it at that, really.
What are you expecting from today's game?
This game's always exciting. A4 Derby. I mean, the Bath City teams obviously come to Chippenham's ground today, full of Chippenham fans, which is a bit different to what we've been used to. But yeah, it's always a good game.
For Bath City, in goal is Will Henry. Fullbacks are James Taylor and Freddie Grant, with Grant Horton, former Chippenham man, centre-back alongside Jack Batten. Then we think it'll be a midfield three of Tom Mayhew, Ryan Harley and Frankie Artus, with Tom Smith, Donovan Wilson back in the team and Tommy Conway. On the bench for City, Dan Ball, Lloyd James, Tom Richards, Jason Pope and Lewis Bahadur. For Chippenham Town, I believe they're playing 4-4-2, just a one change for them. In goal, Will Puddy, back four of Eddie Jones and Ryan Laws fullbacks, with Tom Harrison and Kieran Parcell, the captain, centre-backs. Middle of midfield, we think it'll be Luke Russ and Joe Hanks, who's back into the team. On the wings, former Bath City man Ross Stern, who knows to score in this fixture, with he on the right and Clady Lolos on the left, Marlon Jackson and Brad Ash up top. Just the four substitutes for Chippenham this afternoon: Chris Zabrowski, Alex Bray, Callum Gunner and Ben Hughes. Crowds back here for the first time since the 14th of March. Strangely subdued atmosphere so far, but I'm sure once Chippenham get this game underway through Luke Russ, it'll soon come to life again. It's great to get this A4 Derby in front of fans. Unfortunately, none from Bath City. As away we go. Nope, going to have a full start. Back we go again.
Back we go.
Quick off the mark. Ross Stern was very quick off the mark. He is lining up on the right, as we expected. And Luke Russ will try for a second time to get us underway in the A4 Derby between Chippenham Town and Bath City. Take two. Away we go this time. Goes back to Hanks. Across to Parcell in centre-back position, looking long. He's looking at Ash, it's too long for him. It appeals for a flick, and there was a flick actually, off James Taylor, who looks a little bit bewildered. And I think that's the first influence of a crowd. They've given the referee a decision to give Chippenham the first corner of the game. Sent towards the near post, a dangerous one. There's a foul in Bath City's favour, in fact. I think it was Parcell who was tugging all over Grant Horton. As Jackson turns back well now, just past halfway. Stearns making a run down the right-hand side. Grant's keeping an eye on Jackson. Stearns in loads of space down the right-hand side, and he does use him. Stern fizzes it across goal, and it just about evades two players in Ash and Lolos. Neither could get a touch. Could be a few nerves. He does, near the 6-yard box. And there's a foul again has gone in Bath City's favour. Kieran Parcell and Horton, they all had a hand over each other there, but Kieran Parcell has conceded now 3 fouls in the first 6 minutes. Conway on the right hand side, inside to Harley now, midway inside the Chippenham half. He's got Grant making a run on the left, but Stern is keeping track of him. Now Smith picks it up on the right hand side. He's managed to find Mayhew on the edge of the box. Mayhew knocks it on to Conway, and it's a first effort on target. Henry was kick off his line. Conway had to stretch to shoot, so he didn't get full power on it. And Henry for Chippenham was alert to deny with his legs as Jackson. It was a good attempt to a ball down the left hand side to Lolos, but it goes behind for a throw in the City midway inside the Bath City half. But first opening for the Romans. Let's go back to Batten. Missed all of last season. ACL. He's now striding forward purposefully past the halfway line. And a great ball over to the right hand side. The flag stayed down. It's now Conway just inside the penalty area. Conway bearing down on goal, and he's watching Laws, making him check and go back to Taylor, who sends a hanging one towards the 6-yard box. It's behind Tom Smith. Stern can try and take it away, but Chippenham, he goes down under pressure from Grant, but no foul as Eddie Jones completes the clearance. Back to Batten now, under pressure from Ash, and he's brought him down. Horton was there to cover. I think Batten's going to be the first man cautioned there, having appended Brad Ash. And Jack Batten, who's not too shy of the odd yellow card, is going to collect one here, but no real complaints to that one, George.
No, it was pretty clear.
Bar City holding a very high line as Hanks instead tries to catch out Will Henry, and it might have been just drifting wide, but good inventiveness from Hanks, but he couldn't catch out Henry. As Batten goes long, it's an easy header, one from Harrison. Now good turn from Jackson, 35 yards out. He goes a goal straight down the throat though of Will Henry. Mayhew manages to get the better of Hanks in midfield. It's now back to Horton, slips it on, good ball actually to Conway, now on to Wilson near the corner of the penalty area. Smith's waiting in the middle for Wilson. Wilson cuts back inside into a shooting position with a left-footed one. He only just about pulls it wide. I think Puddy had it covered. He tried to catch him out at his near post, but it goes behind for a goal kick. Button now again, he's allowing himself to venture forward. He's lost out this time to Russ, who nips it off his toes into the left-hand side to Lawless. Batten's got to get back. Artis is covering for the moment. Lawless is cutting inside. He shoots and he pulls it wide. Players aren't too afraid to have a go at the moment, are they?
No, that's right. It's a few long-range shots at the moment.
Parley's under pressure from Jackson, but he's going to try and grant in a bit of room on the left-hand side. That's a clever ball on to Smith, and it was missed from Harrison, but not from Parcell, who knees it away out of trouble. It's the edge of the box, and instead Eddie Jones can now go on a little ascent forward. He's managed to nick it off Artis, past the halfway line. Jones, he's played it on to Jackson. He's going to have to give chase near the byline. Batten's keeping up with him for Jackson, who plays it across goal. It's a dangerous ball. Ash gets a touch, but he couldn't get a telling touch on it. Now back to Grant, long one, looking for Wilson, who's turning away from Harrison. I thought he was held actually from the man on loan from Bristol City. Instead it's a flanked ball over to the right hand side, which Stern brings down perfectly and sends it into the middle, and it's hit the inside of the post and stayed out. Will Henry had no idea of his bearings there, and Stern very nearly caught him out. He said he likes to score against his former clubs. That would have been like the flukiest he's ever scored against them. I'm sure that was an intended cross.
I think it was a cross, yeah.
In Ryan Clark's absence, Bar City haven't named a goalkeeper for only the second time in 151 matches in charge of Joey Deere. Hopefully that won't make any difference. As Smith now picks it up, driving forward near the edge of the penalty area. Smith lines up for a shot and he blazes it all the way out of Harden Newish Park. And then he went up into the hockey AstroTurf behind the goal. Not one of Tom Smith's best efforts there.
He can hit them from there, so it doesn't surprise me to see Tom having a go.
The floated one towards the corner of the penalty area. Smith and Jones got arms all over each other. It runs to Stern with a half volley, and he only just gets over the top. He nearly managed to get underneath it fully. I think this time Will Henry was more satisfied it was going over, but Ross Stern puts it over 0-0. This Smith picks up though 30 yards from goal, trying to make some memories of his own. On to Mayhew, back in the team, having missed the last couple. Mayhew again, on to Smith near the edge of the penalty area. This is good from City. It's now with Conway, trying to get his way near the byline. He does, he's shimmied either side and he slipped rather than dived, and it runs all the way through the Puddy. He was appealing, I think he just lost his footing, didn't he?
I think so, yeah. We've seen a bit of that this afternoon, so it doesn't surprise me there.
Yeah, longer studs, perhaps. He's Puddy deliberately plays it over to the right side, right into the chest of Jones, who gets it away. It's a great touch as Jones sends a dangerous one. It's an own goal. It's come in last off Jack Batten in trying to stretch to intercept the cross, and he's expertly hooked it over his own goalkeeper. Nothing he or Will Henry can do. It's all about the ball in from Eddie Jones, and a stroke of luck gives Chippenham the lead in this A4 derby on 28 minutes. It's Chippenham 1, Bar City 0.
Yeah, it was a great ball in from Eddie. And obviously Jack, it's a hard one, it's a hard ball to deal with, but unfortunately for Jack, it's ended up in the back of the net. Still
Ryan Harley. He's looking for Wilson to make a run in front of him. Instead he's being pressed from Russ and Jones. So he finds Grant, now Wilson, back to Grant. He should keep it in near the corner flag. He does, almost in the corner quadrant. Gets a ball into the middle. It's going to bounce on unfavourably. It's out to Mayhew on the edge of the box. It's well charged down from the Chippenham defence. Mayhew can pick it up again on the right-hand side. He's trying to get the other side of Hanks, and he appends Hanks in trying to do so. As Henry picks it up near the penalty spot and tries to float it. It's a poor ball actually. It's intercepted easily from Russ, whose header forward would have found Lawless, who was offside, so he elects the ball to go past him and back to the Bar City stoppers. Now Taylor up to halfway to Wilson. That's a good ball over to the right hand side. There's a slip in the Chippenham defence. Conway's got it now. He's going near the byline. He's got options in the middle. Conway plays it across, it doesn't find Smith and it doesn't quite find Harley either. And a very young Bath City team, the average age is just over 24. So Jerry Gill said he's like a coach on the pitch. All sorts of pulling on Jackson, I thought. Oh no, that's a nasty one from Lolos on Mayhew. A little bit high, and suddenly this A4 Derby has sprung to life, pushing and shoving in there. It looked to me pretty nasty. I think he might get away with a yellow. Mayhew's thumping the ground in pain. Smith's getting involved with Hanks, but that's been the first really nasty challenge of the game. Yeah, it all suddenly, after what had been a rather tepid derby in terms of temperament, it suddenly got very
handbags
fiery.
are out.
What's the punishment going to be? He's off. It's a straight red card for Lolos. Lolos on his home debut has lasted only
always a tricky one. I mean, the balls, they're both going in, and it's a bit of a you versus me, isn't it?
It was a bit high.
Yeah.
I can understand. I mean, I don't think he meant to cause any serious harm to...
I think once he committed, that was that.
Smith picks it up, just inside the Chippenham half. Now to Mayhew, never involved. He plays it a little bit behind Taylor on the right-hand side. It's back to Mayhew, still on the Chippenham half. The right-footed delivery is hanging in the air, and Grant's got there before Puddy, and what Puddy was doing, he's waiting for the ball to come to him.
I think the wind slowed it down a lot.
He did a little bit as Smith loses out on the edge of the box. He got away with that with the Chippenham stopper, and one-time brief Bath City glovesman. It's now with Grant again down the left-hand side, and he's easily intercepted from Jones on this occasion. There's Horton and Jackson on the medal, and Horton gets an unfortunate decision in his favour. Yeah, so it was either really. There's now Conway near the edge of the penalty area, lays it off to Taylor on the right hand side. Taylor plays it across to Wilson, who heads it just wide. It wasn't the easiest of chances, it was a very crowded penalty area, but Donovan Wilson nods it wide, and a near miss for the Romans. Chippenham will just want to see out these final few stages as it's hacked out the ground. I'll help them do it, as they didn't last year, of course, and they have done this time though. As that is the whistle for half time. Taylor, he and two former Bristol City men, well, one current Bristol City loanee, interchanging passing, now Artis, but Chippenham got a lot of men behind the ball. Whether they'll be able to keep up this discipline for the remainder of this contest. They lead by a goal to nil, scored from Jack Patton's own goal. As Taylor now 25 yards out on the right hand side. Taylor tries to play 1-2 with Wilson on the edge of the box, lays it off to Harley near the edge. He's got a lot of men in between him and the goal. Harley goes for a goal, and it's easily blocked, and it's still Chippenham can't get it away. It's May who slips it into Taylor. Now Conway fizzes it across, and it's actually a really inviting ball, but nobody was there to gamble on it, and it goes behind for a goal kick, squares it to Artis.
This is where it's going to be hard for Chippenham, just to get out their half and build something.
Yeah, whether they'll try and catch him on the break as Artis. Grant's making an interesting run on the left-hand side. Artis picks him out. Grant heads it all the way across goal, and in fact it was on target. It meant that Puddy had to spring to his left. Mayhew 25 yards out. City are finding room out wide, but nothing really going through the middle as Harley finds Mayhew. Back to Harley. Now he's got room near the corner of the penalty area to Conway. Back to Mayhew. City have got lots of possession, but still can't find a way through because Chippenham have got about 8 men camped near the edge of their penalty area. It's going to be very difficult to break them down as Mayhew's cross is blocked, and there's breakdown in communication, which means Jackson can clear, but Chippenham cannot get the ball away. They could now, though, as Stern is in oceans of space on the right hand side. Horton's giving chase, and Stern, he's got Ashen's room on the left hand side. If he elects to find him, if he gets the ball right, it's going to be a goal, and Ash has blazed it miles over the bar, and perhaps the ball was a little bit behind him, but he should have done better.
Yeah, that's a very, very important chance for Chippenham. I mean, having 10 men being pinned in their half, I did say that it was going to be a counter-attack, what was going to do it, and that seemed to be the one, but unfortunately Brad couldn't get it on target.
Yeah, he leant back, didn't he? And I think Stern's ball was Stern did everything right in squaring it, but I think a little bit behind him. Had it been in his stride, it could have been oh so different, because we know that Brad Ash knows where the back of the net is this season. There's now City can break. He said, could that be costly? As Conway near the corner of the penalty area, still going Conway, overlap to Taylor, plays it across inside to Conway, shoots, and he's blazed it over the bar as well, and it was a more difficult opening than Ash's at the other end, but very frantic now, and good interchange of passing then right hand side, but Conway for once his finishing touch eludes him.
Been an exciting start to the second half.
The City are going to pour men forward. They don't go for draws either. Jerry Gill wants to get a win against 10 men.
Which might leave a few gaps for Chippenham on the counter.
Certainly will lead to entertainment as Taylor's got so much room on this right-hand side. He hasn't been watched. He gets it across into the middle. Grant goes up for a header. It's like to Smith with a volley, and it's another really important block. Artis cushions it over to the right-hand side to Taylor. It's a bit of attack versus defence at times in the second half, as anticipated, because Chippenham are down to 10 men. They lead by a goal to nil, scored from Jack Batten's own goal. As Artis picks it up on the right-hand side, goes back to Horton, 10 yards inside the Chippenham half. Back to Artis again. Chippenham inviting him forward almost, and finds Taylor on the right-hand side. Gets a low one across. It's out to Wilson near the penalty spot. He can't bring it under control. He and Smith getting in each other's way. It's still room for Taylor. How long can Chippenham hold out through all his pressures? It's Mayhew's flicked one to the far post, and Jones gets away, and they get a little bit of respite. It's a shame because Artis has just had one of the greatest shots you've ever seen crash off the bar. It counts for nothing, but Chippenham surely can't hold out much longer defending as deep as this.
I know.
How their careers have progressed.
I know. They've had great careers so far, and long may it continue for them.
Smith striding forward. He's got Grant in room on the left-hand side. Grant might want to fizz it across. He does. It's well gathered. Oh, it's cleared in the end. What superb defending that is from Ash, who real hard work, and I think Mayhew was looking to pounce. Fair to Puddy in these conditions. Anything's going to be difficult to handle. Back to Harley again. You need a special moment to try and get back into this game. Here's Artis, now Conway near the edge of the area. Still not enough room to have a shot with Taylor and Wilson trying to get involved. 20 yards out. Wilson shoots. What a save from Puddy. And follow-up is fizz back. I think it hit Grant last. It's kept in play, and Conway is offside. But good save from Puddy. He got it away from danger, and it's former Barnsley man Ross Stern is going to be replaced as well.
Yeah,
all going on.
That was a great shot by Donovan Wilson, and then a great stop by Will Puddy.
And Barnsley are going to make a change as well. And Tom Richards coming on, who you know a little bit about.
Yeah, that's right. Tom's a cousin of mine.
City have gone short, as they often do with corners. Back to Smith. He's got a ball in to... No, it's gathered just on the line. It was Batten who almost atoned for his own goal. I thought for a second he'd caught out Puddy. Gunner again into the knees almost of Zabrowski. He's won it back on halfway and is clearly tripped from Grant. I think we'll receive a yellow card. Bar that challenge hasn't really been too malicious, but you wonder if it goes on. Could get a little bit tetchy. And now to Smith near the edge of the box. Back to Conway again. Going to see a blue in their way as Artis tries his luck from distance and he gets it high and wide and doesn't test Will Puddy.
This is where it's hard for Chippenham. Just as you get pinned in, I mean, Bath obviously know how to play with 11 versus 10, so...
Yeah, I did the other week at Chelmsford. What a ball over the top that is from Russ. He's in, is Hanks, and he couldn't finish. I was looking down, what happened? he just didn't connect.
Just half volley.
It was back to Artis off Harley now, 30 yards from goal. Artis, he's got Mayhew making a run on the right side. He's now picked up from Richards inside to Harley, but how on earth are you meant to get a shot away? There's so many bodies in the way as Richards now with Mayhew on the right, trying to do something more inventive as he drills it across the middle. Well gathered from Will Puddy. There's so many bodies behind the ball as Artis lays it off to Smith. He tries to turn and Hanks gets there first and then brings down Artis and will probably get booked. Although Artis did come in on the blind side, but Harley just past the centre circle, the furthest player back for Bath City. Batten turns on the edge of the box, can't get it under control, but now Conway, it's a risky challenge from Jones, but he won the ball. Now Grant plays it across. It feels a handball against Eddie Jones, but instead it goes behind for a corner. 74 minutes gone. Harley goes short to Smith. Chippenham will now look to push out. Smith near the corner of the penalty area, no way through, so he has to go all the way back to Richards, just past halfway. Now Mayhew in room down the right-hand side. Watch from Zabrowski. Working hard. Artis is in room. He can pick out a cross. He does. Grant's gone out for the header and he's knotted it in bravely into the back of the net. Freddie Grant, first goal for the club on 74 minutes. A perfect cross from Frankie Artis, and Freddie Grant becomes the 100th different Bath City player to net in National League South, and in the process he makes it Chippenham 1, Bath City 1.
Yeah, I think Will Puddy committed to that one, and Freddie just got there first and ended up in the back of the net.
Great header from Freddie Grant. It's his first goal since April to May 2019.
I think he suffered a little injury on the way as well.
Well, it was brave, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very brave.
Here's Mayhew now down the right-hand side. City buoyed by that leveller. Inside to Wilson. Back to Mayhew near the edge of the box. Mayhew skipping across the edge of the penalty area. Tries to knock it on to Harley, who manages to get a toe in, but it's only cleared from Jones. I can ask a little bit of Zabrowski. Batten heads it inside, not wisely. It's picked up from Hanks. It's now Zabrowski could be in behind Jack Batten, who's got to get there first. Batten isn't. Zabrowski! Oh, it's just gone wide! I thought he was going to creep into the bottom corner. Zabrowski
showed a good pace.
He's appealing for a corner as well. It's now Grant, the scorer of the equaliser, brings it down and he's got away from trouble so well. He now knocks it inside to Smith near the edge of the box. Smith goes back to Harley. 13 minutes left, 1-1 here in the A4 derby. It's Harley on to Conway near the edge of the penalty area. Still Conway, he shoots and he shoots out the ground again. He hasn't got his shooting boots on today. Tommy Conway still locked at 1-1 with 3.5 minutes remaining here at Harden Lewis Park. It's nice slip through to Conway, 30 yards out. That's a good ball to Wilson now. Narrow angle. Well, he went to dive in on Puddy, and to my view I've got, he was nowhere near him, but the referee has got a decision to make here. He sees that Wilson has deliberately planted his foot on the goalkeeper. He could be in trouble, but the view I've got, he didn't connect.
No, I think he's going to speak to the linesman about this one. I'm sure he'll have a better view of it.
I don't think... The view I've got is about a yard away from him. Like, he went to go for the challenge. I think in desperation, left a foot in, but I hope I'm wrong. I've got a feeling that Puddy's making a meal of this, frankly, but if I watch it back and I'm wrong, then I'll...
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see it again.
I think he could be in trouble.
He's
the ref was always going to even it up. I don't agree with that decision one bit. If he's connected, fair enough. I don't think he's got anywhere near him, frankly, and I think Will Puddy has bought that a little bit.
It'd be interesting to see that one again.
Again, when he looks for intent, is it really that bad? He's gone behind the talk to the Chippenham stopper. Well, he'll have a 3-match ban, which I think will begin next week, but I'll speak to Jerry Gill after, who hasn't got the best view of it over on the far side.
It's a bit blind for that side, wasn't it?
Again, I have to watch it back, but I'm sorry, the view I had was that he didn't connect. Whether it's done for intent, dangerous play, I don't know, but I thought he had every right to go for the ball.
He was sort of, momentum was driving him forward, and there was a few bodies in the way for me to see any contact. But
10v10 then for these closing stages as Bray's looking to enter the fray as Mayhew picks it up on halfway to Smith now. Now Mayhew making an advancing run. What a challenge that is.
Great tackle from Kieran
Parcell. Superb challenge, because I tell you what, he could have been in as Zabrowski.
He's done very well.
Good touch as well. Lays it back to Hanks. And now Bray, he's bearing down on goal. Alex Bray, good save from Henry. We said he's better in touch, and in fact it's come off last off Bray, and that's where you need your goalkeeper to have his concentration.
Will Henry is a great save then.
His eyes lit up, didn't it? Former Chippenham man is being very well appreciated this afternoon. Those who used to cheer him. And in fact, that's the final action of the game, and it's Bath City's first draw of the season in an action-packed, incident-filled game yet again here at Harden Hewish Park. Chippenham took the lead through Jack Batten's own goal on 27 minutes. They were then reduced to 10 men on 38. Clady Lolos sent off for a late lunge on Tom Mayhew. Chippenham defended in depth. They defended pretty well, but they were powerless to prevent Freddie Grant equalising on 74 minutes. A fine hanging header from Frankie Artis's cross, and he got his telling touch for his first goal for the club to make it 1-1. City were then reduced to 10 men on 88 minutes when Donovan Wilson, in trying to chase down the ball, was alleged to have committed dangerous play, presumably on Will Puddy, and diving in on the Chippenham goalkeeper. But referee showed red for the second time this afternoon. He's now shown the most reds in National League side. Chippenham nearly won it late on through Alex Bray for a dramatic finale, but Henry was up to the task. It finishes 1-1. George Rigg, your views on the game?
It was an exciting game. There was chances for both sides. Chippenham going down to 10 men threw a bit of a different reflect on it. We were sort of holding on, and then Bath going down to 10 men opened it up for the last 5 minutes, but I think we'll be pleased with a point going into New Year's Day. So
yeah, you couldn't really begrudge Bath City their equaliser there. I think they had so much ball in the second half, albeit they didn't create too many chances because Chippenham was so well organised. But when Grant's goal came, it did seem like a matter of time.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think we'll take that point today, and we'll be pleased with that, seeing as though what we've been through in the first half and second half with the 10 men.
We'll be back on 2 days' time for the visit of Hungerford Town. Our coverage will start at 2:45 p.m. That'll be with Joe Ackland and Matt Isles, and then the return fixture between these two next week. Of course, mouth-watering time between Bow City and Chippenham. Again, our coverage will start at 2:45 p.m. So thank you from me, from George Rigg, and hope you all enjoyed your Christmas, and we'll see you all again very soon.
Thank you very much.